Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to some and peace out to the rest of you. You know who it ain't and who it is. It ain't your boy, it is your man, the blackest hearted, blackest minded, blackest man on social media, signing black in and shining again. Asking you to hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. This being said, this message, it is meant to help. Now, before I address you gentlemen, I'm going to address ladies right quick to say one thing. Those of you listening are either guilty or you're innocent. If you were innocent, and one of you knows who you are, all you have to do is stop defending yourself and stop defending the guilty. That's it. I don't have smoke for the innocent, men or women. Now, there are men out there who say that ain't no woman innocent. All women are like that. You all got female nature and it's bad. And you'll do the worst things you can do to a man and get away with. There are men out there that say things like this. I don't. Matter of fact, I don't even talk much about the nature per se, because if your nature is bad and you disobey it, you're still innocent. Now, if your nature is bad and you obey it, you're guilty. If your nature is good and you still do bad things, you're still guilty. In other words, I'm willing to judge only by what you do rather than what instincts and impulses you fight against. I don't even have smoke for people that are attracted to children and they never molest a kid. I'd watch them. If I know someone's like that, I don't leave them alone with kids. But if they've never molested a kid, I wouldn't do anything to hurt them. I wouldn't even move my tongue to blame them if they are refusing to do such. Now, if I'm willing to extend this to them and they got some sick taste, I can easily extend this fair, just courtesy to you. So if you're not one of the guilty women, don't jump in here and defend them or defend yourself from the charges. I'm not talking to the innocent. No matter what situation you're in, if you really did not cause it yourself, don't think I'm blaming you. Now that we got that out the way, let me go ahead and address the men with my intended message. Gentlemen, yesterday, Gabe from a channel, the name of which I forgot, Black Men Unlimited Radio or something like that, said that you should go ahead and just pay the ugly nigga tax and deal with it. You should listen to him, and I'm going to tell you why. So that you can do the exact opposite of what he said. Number one, C Boogie's already talking about talking to men like we need to figure women out, understand them. We might need to understand them for the same reason that the Allies needed to understand the Axis powers, because it's war. And we don't have the option of not fighting it. Because believe you me, enough men can say, man, if every man found some kind of pill or herb that would just cut the libido, I promise you, if every man found this and just cut the libido and we left women alone, they would look at the non-sexual needs and they would manage to get the government, or they would at least try to push the governments, no matter who controls them, men or women. They would push these governments to just simply take at gunpoint from us what they need. That's one thing that would be the case. So I'm not going to sit up here and tell you that it ain't war. It's war. C Boogie inadvertently told us so, because he told us about the mask and what they're hiding under it. Now, let's just reverse this. If every man wore a mask, and underneath these masks were fears, doubts, insecurities, and we were trying to use the bulk of women to satisfy the needs that are not in their interest to satisfy in exchange for nothing, so that we can then turn around and take these resources gained and spend them on a few women of the finest minority, women would not tolerate that and they would kill us. So since they're insistent upon doing to us that which they would not tolerate from us, that's an act of effing war. So he disclosed to us it's war. Fine, okay, it's war. So when Gabe gets up and says, pay the ugly nigga tax, listen to him so you can do the exact opposite. What he calls the ugly nigga tax, that's his term, not mine. It's actually not reserved for niggas or ugly niggas. First off, most of you listening are black, but you ain't niggas. Black men, by definition, can't act like niggas and remain men. I have a nigga in me, but I'm a man. I'm a black man. I am a Muslim black man. I'm only a nigga when I'm provoked and I don't have an option. Actually, I act more like the niggerilla stereotype in that case. Because I thump my chest, growl, grab niggas' feet and drag them for a little bit, thrash around vegetation, just like a gorilla. And talk mad trash while I'm doing it, like a nigga. So the only real niggerilla in real life is me. No other black man actually acts like a gorilla in a hostile situation. So that stereotype is only brought to life by one man, and you're listening to him now. Plus, I actually kind of look like a gorilla. So in real life, they are insistent upon taking attacks from you without you being ugly. That's what I'm getting at. You ain't got to actually be ugly. They're just treating or even actually regarding most normal men as ugly. Think about it. These guys will sit up and say, well, it's nature and it's just Darwinism and you just don't make the cut and just deal with it. Well, if it's something that women can't help and it's just nature, they would have weeded out unattractive, ugly niggas a long time ago, right? No, they didn't, obviously. So what it really means is that they're just built or they're taught or both. Whatever the case is, they're simply taking the majority of men and saying they're ugly and taking a minority and saying we'll fuck them for free. And not only will we do it, but we'll take the resources from the 87% and then spend them on the 13% we want to all screw and we'll share them. Now, I've already mentioned that can't be good for genetic diversity anyway. So the mechanisms by which women are choosing are not conducive naturally, nor in a civilization. They're pretty much screwed up. You leave the West, it could be different, but in the West, it's not. End of story. In the West, that's not the case. In the West, their standards are actually ruining family structures and the laws as well. That's all you got. I don't care if it's natural or taught. It's ucked fuck. We don't have to respect it. And I'm calling on you to disrespect it, actually. Here's the other thing, too. Keep in mind that this ugly nigga tax to which Gabe refers, it's something that they know is unfair because would they tolerate attacks from you? You see, they don't pay an ugly woman tax. They don't pay the obese woman tax. They don't pay a tax at all. The very basics that you should be able to expect from a drop-dead gorgeous woman, they only give you when they're compensating for something they don't like about themselves, like their weight or their age or another man's kids. They usually don't like something about their own situation when they're being nice to you and being polite and treating you well. Hell, they usually don't like something about their own situation when they're acting a bitch. So they're not paying a tax. They're not even paying just the regular entry fees to play. They're not even paying that much until they're compensating for something. So how dare they charge you a tax anyway? So what he's saying is deal with it. Men are paying women on OnlyFans just to look at the nipples, let these women have their hustle. No, shuck that fit. Take that hustle and make it unprofitable and tell other men to do the same thing. That's the opposite of what he's telling you to do. Therefore, you know it's the right thing to do. This nigga's tripping. Pay the ugly nigga tax. It's not an ugly nigga tax. They're getting 87% of you. Now, 87% of men can't really be ugly to women unless women are trained or wired to view men this way. I don't believe they're wired to view men this way. They've already weeded out the men they're wired to view as just unfit. And we men are pretty much weeded out the women that we're wired to view as unfit. We've already done that. Naturally, generations, millennia, maybe even millions of years ago, we've done that. Now people are unattractive because of either poor nutrition, accidents, poor eating and dietary habits, bad health, things like that. Something has to step in and make you unattractive for the most part, or someone's just not your type, which would mean that they can still be someone else's type. These ladies here, I'm pretty sure they're socialized in the West, not around the world, but in the West, they're socialized to eliminate 87% of men. And then say it's natural. I can't help it. Yeah, okay. So anyway, make these things unprofitable. Make prostitution unprofitable for them. Make stripping even less profitable for them, because you don't even get anything out of that. Make OnlyFans less profitable for them. Oh yeah, make porn less profitable for them. But then again, that probably has already been the case. I heard that y'all had free porn for years over there. Someone told me that y'all had free porn in the States back in 2010. I left in 2014. I didn't even know. So I became Muslim in 2002. And when I became Muslim, there was no free porn. Before I became Muslim, you paid. So let's make porn even less profitable than what it is if there are people still making any kind of money from it. Believe that. Do the opposite of what he's saying. Don't play that game, because the ugly nigga tax is their game. It's their rules. It's on their terms. And when I say their, I'm not even talking about the innocent women's terms. Innocent women simply judge men by their own lens. Does she like him or not? No. This is the guilty woman's terms. She's judging men by what she and her friends want. That's not innocent. So no, don't play, this is war, and you don't fight war on your enemy's terms. Now, you might agree with your enemy on what you're not going to do. Yeah, okay, look, we'll agree we ain't going to shoot each other's kids. The war can be fought like that, so long as both parties keep the end of the bargain. Well, we're not going to kill the prisoners we take from the other side who surrender while alive. Yeah, okay, fine. Fair enough. But outside of that, you don't sit up and fight the actual combatant enemy the way that they want you to do. You don't do that. No. You don't sit up, because the way they want you to fight is that they have high caliber artillery and you just throwing rocks. That's what they want. You don't do that. You don't throw rocks when they're shooting at you. No, what you do is you actually you develop your weapons to shoot at a higher caliber and more accurately than they can. And you keep on doing that. They got flint musket rifles. You come up with the Maxim gun. That was how that was actually developed during the Civil War, but it was mass produced right after it. That's what war is. You fight to win. And you damn sure fight to not lose. So don't pay the ugly nigga tax he's talking about. You tax them. I hope this message has been of benefit. I hope that one day it won't be necessary anymore. In the meantime, thanks for listening. The blackest hearted, blackest minded, blackest man on social media signing black out. Assalamu alaikum. And black, heterosexual, unattractive male power just because they don't like